All right, hello guys. The other day my colleague told me that he did not know how to use Cinema 4D's take system, which was kind of a shock to me because I think take system is really powerful, and it's what I think Cinema 4D has the advantage over, say, Blender or other software. This really help save a lot of time, and also it's really efficient. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how to use tick system and how to take advantage of it, how to use it and how not to use it to make mistakes. And all right, that's too much. Let's get started. I've already set up the scene. You can see it's very basic, just some geometry shapes and a ground and actually two cameras. And also I have already prepared different render settings. They're different in the output format. So one is the usual 1080p, one is vertical, one is square. You will see what they can do. So, all right, if you click on the standard tab, you should see the take manager right next to object manager, which is like this. It looks like this. And by default, you should only have one main take, which is where you do all your stuff. And if you want to create a new take, you just hit this button and here's a new take. But if you don't do any overrides, then this is not gonna be any different. So first, let's say that you want to create different compositions. So in your main take, let's say this is the composition that you're happy with, but you want to try out something different. So you can create a new take and then go to that new take and then hit on this A auto take. And also you can link selection to other managers, which if you want. Basically, you want to have all of them clicked on. And then let's say if you click on this and move it around, let's say like this, which is not a very good composition, I know, but I'm just showing you. Okay. All right, let's say this is okay. And if you go back to your main take, voila, that's the first usage of take system. You can have different composition, you can move objects differently, and also this is also respecting your animation settings. So let's say, before we talk about animation, let's talk about how you can use different material setting with the take system. So let's say these are the color that you're happy with, but you just want to try out something new, or if the client want a different set of material setup, but with relatively the same objects. So you don't have to render it out and then manually change, like doing this kind of stuff and then change it back. It's not really a smart way to work. So what you can do is say you have these set up and go back to the take and the new take system. You can simply say rewrite this, which is here. Okay. Give it a red color and then go back to your main take, and I kind of screw up. Okay. So this is one thing that you need to be careful with. So let's say what went wrong was that I didn't substitute this material with another material. Instead, I add a new material tag on it. So everything, anytime you add something new, it's gonna affect all the takes. So for example, if I'm in this new take and I added a new object, guess what? It is going to be in your main take too. But notice the position change. So in a fundamental level, what the take system is doing is that in each take, it is storing a set of information with each object. Let's say you can actually view what's different, what's the override here. So in this take system, what you have override is the cube's coordinates, transform, which is position, which is what we just did, and also the torus, right? And also the platonic object that I just added. I move it up inside this new take, so it is going to be recorded as an override. But because I added this object, no matter which take I was on, the main take is going to say that, okay, this scene has this object, but it's not going to record this coordinate change that I made in this new take. So that's why inside your main take, it is still in the world origin, which is 000 if you check it here. Okay, so let's say you want to have the, let's continue with the material setup. What you can do is, I think if you just pull and drag it here, that might work. Let's see. See, one is red, one is purple. Let's actually change this to something more drastic. Maybe change it to green, so that you will know for sure that it changed. So why did this work? This worked because I did not add another material tag. Instead, I actually changed the tag property of the same material tag. You can see it if I dock it here, which you can see more clearly. So in the main take, this is still one material tag, and the material is this pink material. But if I go to the new take, this tag will change its property named material to material.3. This is why this works and not the other way, like just dragging it, dropping it here, because I added a tag information. I added a new tag, which even in the main take, it is still going to be registered as this material tag. So that's why it doesn't work. And also, if you delete something, even in the main take, it's going to disappear because you deleted the information from the scene. So what you could do is, oh, actually, let's try deleting this inside a child take. It's still the same. The reason is the same because you deleted this information in your whole Cinema 4D file. That's why it doesn't exist anymore. So no matter what the parameter was recorded in the take system, the whole thing is deleted. So let's say that you want to hide it. You can just toggle it off inside this take, and then if you go to main take, it's still enabled. Why? Because this button is actually, I think this parameter here. So let's see, right? So this parameter is what's changed in the take. It recorded this parameter. Let's say, yeah, you can see inside the cone geometry, the basic property enabled is false in this take, and it is true or false inside the main take as well, which I just did. Okay, so this is the basic logic underlying for the take system. So if you have anything that's not working, maybe think of this. Try thinking if you deleted the whole geometry data, or are you just manipulating some parameters? If you're just manipulating parameters, it should work. Okay, so let's say that, okay, this was totally unplanned and not wanted. You can just go here, or you can go to cone and find the parameter that you want. And also, this is a very good visualization. Like if your take is inheriting their parameter from the mother take, then the parameters are gonna be blue, which is indicating that you can override it. And the parameters that have been overwritten is gonna show up in this color, which is gray. So what you can do is just right click on this parameter, and it's here, or it says remove override. So if you just hit remove override, you can see this parameter is also like any other parameters. It's blue, which means it is inheriting from its parent take. So if you go back to main and disable this, it will be disabled because it is reading the parameter setting from its mother or from its parent take. So that's the simple logic here. And we can, that was the parameter. And also, let's say that you want to do some animation. All right, so let's say inside the main take, actually let's do another take. So in this take, let's say I want to use camera 1, and then I want to have this kind of animation like this. Make a key, and then go to maybe frame 30, and then like this kind of animation. I don't know what I'm doing. It's just for showing you what it can do, okay? I'm not a lousy animator. At least I don't think so. Okay, so let's say this is the animation I want to render, but also I want to do another set of animation. Like if you go to the other take, you can see there is no animation. So you can safely do another animation. I'm just gonna do a very, very simple animation like this. All right, so now you can see you have two sets of animation. One is inside this new take, and the other one is like this. And let's see what these two buttons do. So they're actually giving you an option to choose what camera you want as the default camera. So by default, they're inheriting from their parents, which is okay. And there's a default camera, which I don't think anybody would use that because it's no use. And let's say for this take, which I animated the camera 1, I'm just gonna say it's camera 1, and then for this one, I also have animation on camera 1, but let's say for this take, I actually want to use camera 2, which is this wide angle lens. So I want to have this kind of revealing animation like this. Oops, I didn't actually animate. Okay. And then I also want this focal length to change. So let's say 24, change to an ultra wide, which is 12. Okay, let's say this is the animation I want. All right, so you can just by click on this and choosing what camera you want, and then you will have this. So inside this take, you're gonna have by default enabled camera 1, and then in this take, because we chose explicitly say that we want to render on camera 2, it's gonna jump to camera 2 by default. And then go back to your main take, you can see none of these camera have any keyframe on it. Why? Because those were only recorded in these subtakes. So if you deleted this take, then guess what? You're gonna lose all your animation data or any coordinates data. So just be careful with that. And all right, so we went over how to make the material changes and also camera render. All right, so let's say we're happy with this. We can go ahead and render this. And just another thing, just to show you what it's capable. So let's say in this, I'm gonna rename it to camera wide angle. And then this one, let's call it panning. All right. So let's say we're okay with it and we want to render. And what's difficult is that we actually have this. So in the wide angle lens, we not only want to render 30 frames, but we want to render, let's say, 60 frames. So this is a very slow animation. How do we do that? We don't have to change it and re-render it by hand. We can actually go to our render settings and set up different render settings. Let's say if I go back to main and then I want to have a 1080p regular setting with, let's say, maybe manual from 0 to 30 frames for this panning animation, which I think it just stopped at 30. Yep. And let's say I just want to have a vertical render for, maybe Instagram or whatever. And then for this wide angle shot, and I want to render 60 frames. So again, go to 60 manual, and then for the save, let me just turn it into viewport render so that I can showcase this to you very quickly. So in both of them, I'm just gonna say I want to render to the renders local path, and I'm gonna use some token like project underscore, maybe the month and date. And then there is a specific token, which if you can't remember, you can just click on this drop down menu. You can see there's a ton of render tokens. If you say there is a current take, if I can find it. Okay, it's here. Current take name. Ooh, that's not what I want. Okay, so I'm just gonna type it in. So this is gonna render it to a folder called renders inside wherever your project file is. So this is called a relative path. And then inside of this, it's gonna store it as the project name and then the month, the date, and then the current take system name, so that you can just have one render setting and it's gonna just store differently according to how you name your takes. This is a huge time saver too. So just for demo purpose, I'm gonna say it's MP4, which is totally not good, but just for demo. Okay. So, all right. So let's say I set it up and I'm good to go. These are actually what you can. This gear icon is representing the render setting, and it is smart enough to know that let's say if you are working inside this take, and then you say oh, I change it to 1080p, and it's gonna automatically just hit lit up this icon, and it's gonna select the one that you just explicitly selected. So that's why also we don't have this icon glowing for this take, because we didn't enable it and then select anything different. You can always go back to main and then change it, but it's not gonna, go to, well, it is actually gonna get inherited to the subtake, because by default it is inherit from parent. So if you go to main and then select square, guess what? Your wide angle is gonna render in this square format. But let's say if I'm in main and I want to render this square, but with wide angle, I actually want to render it out to vertical. Then see what I just did. So I just click this vertical, and then maybe I change something, and then it's smart enough to know that I want to render this take with this specific render setting. And this is it. So let me just check it for sure. 0 to 60. And for the penny animation, you can see the viewport change directly. Let me just let me change the viewport save frame. So you can hit Shift V to go to viewport setting, and then save frames. This opacity, you can just change it to 100, and then color can be set to whatever. This way you have a more cinematic view, and you know for sure where it's gonna crop off. So let's check. The main take is square render setting, and it's just one frame, right? Actually, let me change it back to 0 to, let's say, 90 frame. And I'm gonna do a camera animation with this one. And because I'm using take system, I'm gonna say this one is super long lens, and I'm gonna move out And because I overwritten it on the wide angle take, it is still going to be this super wide lens, but I didn't explicitly say that I want to override the focal length in the panning take, which I was using camera 1, right? So if we go to panning take and then go to camera 2, it is the same focal length, which is 50. Really? Huh? That's weird. Oh, right. I was checking the focal length for camera 1. So for camera 2, it is reading the value directly from the main take that I didn't override. All right, so let's say that I'm happy with all of these stuff and I can render it out. I want to render out, let's say, all the takes. I can just go to this take manager and then there's a render setting. It says render all takes. You can click on that and it's going to render. And let's say that you just want to render out the panning take and the wide angle take, and you don't want to render out the main take. You can click on them, these little checkbox, and then go to render. You can see render marked takes. This option will render, like it suggested, the marked takes, which you just click on. And I'm just gonna say render all takes and see if it does what we want. Oh, why is it? Yeah. So what I just did was that for the main take, it is using, I think, the square format, and the square format render setting is using redshift that I did not change to viewport. So it's really, really slow. I'm just gonna stop it and then change it to viewport render just to show you. All right, so this is rendering way faster. I'm gonna okay. So, all right, you can see that it has already finished the first take. So you can see this is the project file and the date, the current month and date, and then the take system's name. And with the main take, it's rendering out just the project name. Why? Because again, in our square render setting, the save option is actually not enabled. I didn't give it any names, so that's why it's just it's not even storing anything. If I go to the render, you can see it only has the wide angle and panning. So this is something you want to be careful with. If you are using this, better be double checking all of your variables like this. So I can simply like this and then copy and paste it and then do P4. Okay. And I want to render the main take again because I don't want to override the panning and wide angle, which I'm happy with. So this time I'm just going to check it and then say render marked takes. And it's going to render only the take that I selected. Okay, so it's finished and you can see the result. All of them are as planned, like this. So the panning one, ooh, what did I do? Huh. Yeah, you can see. For the panning one, I set it to camera 2, which happened when we were checking the focal length. So yeah, again, if you're using take system, be sure to check your variables like this. Like you can see, I'm going to panning and then selecting this camera 1. It's gonna change to camera 1 too. So just be sure to do that. And then let's say I want to render this panning take again, do this, and then it's warning me if I want to override it, and I want to override it. So here you go. This is the panning animation in a 1080p format, and the main one, which doesn't really have any animation. And then the wide angle is doing what it does, and it is in this vertical format. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. If you utilize the take system with your own will, it's gonna save you a lot of time, and it's gonna just render out a lot of takes if you let it be. So it's gonna save you time, save you render time, and also you can just like hit render and then just be gone. And then when you come back, you have all your animations ready to go. So yeah, this is all, I think. If you have any questions, left them in the comment section below, and like and subscribe, share it with your friend who does not know how to use Take System, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.